So hi everybody, my name is Eros Marcello. I design and develop cognitive personification for human interfacing artificial intelligence. And good morning. Thank you for all the comments. And yes, in going off and answering um, what's going on here in New York. So basically, we've been trying to connect. It's been a little bit hard because between starting at a new company and then also having bomb threats at our building facilities, it's been sort of a challenge. But we're here. We're good. Everybody's gotten back to work. We just kind of had some safety and protocol meetings going on. So IPsoft, where I'm currently employed, where I'm working, heading up the humanization of their cognitive agent, has offices in many countries across the world, but the headquarters is here on Wall Street. We're overlooking Battery Park. If you, let me see here. If you focus right over there, I know it's sort of, you kind of have to be here to see it. That's the Statue of Liberty. So we're overlooking Battery Park and the Hudson River. And then our other offices in World Trade Center 7. So right where what had happened yesterday transpired. So we're, everyone's a little bit on edge, but I think like everybody's getting back to normal. Everybody's cool. Everybody's safe. Everybody's good. So my talk today is based on the humanization of cognitive agents. And I have experienced this on many different facets, as you'll see through the presentation. The presentation is very graphic heavy because I really sort of I have a large amount of things to say that are very intricate and very in depth. So rather than having a bunch of bullet point lists and having you read and then just like semi listen to me, what I'm doing is sort of I presented to you like the vital information so you could follow along in the presentation. And it's going to be a predominantly speaking sort of thing. So definitely too, I'm seeing comments pop up. So any questions, comments, or concerns, we're keeping it loose over here. So you can, by all means, ask whatever you need to ask, or there's plenty of room to delegate and to delve into specific questions. So let's get started with the presentation. See in the chat. Okay, so we're sharing can everyone see the slides?
Yep, perfect.
Awesome. Okay, so again, this is based on the humanization of cognitive agents, what that means. We're delving into the philosophical vantage point of it. We're delving also into what it is in an applicable fashion, what it is in a more abstract fashion, and where it really applies. So first and foremost, let's move on to the disclaimer. So let me full screen it here. The following opinions, conjectures, techniques, and convictions are of my own and do not reflect the opinions of any and all current, former company, affiliation, or employer. Seriously, the last thing I need right now is to get sued. I got divorced when I was 25. That is true, although I'm trying to lighten the mood here. I'm pretty much over the legal system right now. So I'm going to be more so talking about what I've learned during my time in this space rather than necessarily what I'm doing here. Because again, this isn't, there's a lot of great things going on here. There's a lot of publicly available information, but that's for you guys to look up on your own. I'm talking about my convictions and my best practices that I've established and founded upon myself. So moving on, about me. I have a multifaceted background, we could say. I've had my hand in a lot of different emerging technologies, AI and machine learning being the primary thing. However, I do moonlight in other areas, and we'll go into that real quick. So I have a Hyperloop team that was personally invited by Elon Musk twice to compete at SpaceX and Hawthorne at headquarters. Hyperloop Competition 2 and 1. I wasn't there present for Hyperloop Competition 1, but I was part of the team and present for Hyperloop Competition 2, where we achieved active levitation both in and out of a vacuum. And our Hyperloop, our loop being the team, our loop standing for Reddit loop, because we formed over Reddit, built the only true modular, fully functional Hyperloop with a pressure that can house both non-vacuum grade components transport, and then also human life for passenger transportation. So we made our own modular hyperloop. So myself, several guys from NASA, and a host of different Silicon Valley and Los Angeles and global talent. So we made a team, and then 15 of us converged at SpaceX to execute the picture of me with the Boring Company flamethrower, or not a flamethrower as it's called, is this previous competition that was several months ago, where I just attended and helped out my friend's team. Below to your bottom right-hand corner, you'll see a product that I made when I was just 24 years old. It's a DSP plugin for sound engineering platforms that emulates analog tape degradation with DSP algorithms. So again, I've been in all these spaces that are very, I mean, there's a lot of autonomy that utilizes machine learning. But so conversational AI is what I daylight in, and I moonlight in all these other aspects of emerging tech. So that's a little bit about me. You can find me on LinkedIn. Forbes featured me in an article. They did a feature on me a year and a half ago about my work in this space, and we're going to get onto that in a second. So we're moving on. So currently I work at IPsoft. I was personally interviewed and brought on by the CEO. IPsoft is the largest privately held AI company on the planet. We have Amelia. Amelia is a true cognizant AI agent that handles multiple avenues of different domains within the conversational AI space. So it's not necessarily it's not really as much consumer facing as it is as an intrinsic product and an intrinsic service that truly augments human intervention and human experience within currently existing infrastructures. So it's a very unique product, a very strong piece of software. My other work in this space includes I was a consultant for Lander that utilize deep learning for utilize deep learning for automated mastering for music and sound engineering. Samsung is probably my biggest blue chip company I've worked for. So I was on the principal design team for Bixby, which is less a conversational agent, that is part of it, but more so utilizing conversational AI to actually replace analog touch-based commands. So basically controlling your touch-based interface via voice. Cigna, I kicked off their Amazon Alexa initiative, which is going to eventually transcend into Google Assistant and multiple other platforms. But I established an infrastructure for them to really follow and lead behind, so that these, as a large healthcare provider, they didn't build a fancy answering machine. They actually built a conversational experience that could garner, not only create a great experience for their customers, current customers, or plausible customers that could end up being conversions, but actually acquiring quality, unique data that could be proliferated to every facet of the organization. So it was more of like a multifaceted role of, this is how we make a true conversational experience from the design end and also from the data science end. A GSK, GlaxoSmithKline, they make, the makers of Adderall, Tums and Theraflu and everything in between, huge in the HIV medicinal space. I did an internal product for them with IBM Watson Conversations. Chat Fuel, I just consulted with. I mean, they're the leading platform for Facebook Messenger bots. So that's sort of just a really quick area of expertise. So moving on, concurrently, these are the platforms I've really principally designed on. I'm versed in others with AI, Google Dialogflow. But so these are the prime agents that are deployed that I've worked on. So Amelia, Amazon Alexa, IBM Watson, and Samsung's Bixby. So this is just kind of a quick, logo overview of what I've actually done in the space, what I've worked with. When it comes to Amelia and Bixby, I've more so designed the infrastructure and actual platform itself and developed the platform itself, whereas IBM Watson and Alexa utilize the platforms to create conversational agents based upon the infrastructure that was already set up. So I've kind of been on both sides of the spectrum here. So moving on. And I'm gonna just preface, I hope I can curse here, but this is just like the one little dalliance I have. But conversational AI is 99.999% bullshit right now. And why I say that is best practices haven't been established yet. Um, Areas of like true use cases. So we're in kind of an app phase right now. If you bear with me here, and we go to maybe a decade ago, there was the app craze. Everyone wanted an app. Well, why? Maybe a web client was going to be advantageous for your use case, for your organization. Maybe just a web client that's domain and platform agnostic would be a much more suitable investment. We don't care. We just want an app. Why? Well, because so we're in the same state with skills and Google Actions, and that's sort of the how do you really call it? It's like a blessing and a curse in the same time, because that's great that so many people are excited about the space and expanding the space. The thing is there's going to be the areas of folks who are jumping in on the space for a quick cash in, or just to say, oh yeah, conversational AI. That's a very bold word. And the thing is, and that's what's great about IPsoft, and I've been fortunate enough to be employed and work with and work under some great talent, because conversational AI, while it's sort of deduced into the simple, oh, we can make a skill for you, of course. So there's like services coming out saying, oh, we can make a skill, you can drag and drop. That's great. However, it takes quite a bit of intrinsic infrastructure, extrinsic infrastructure to really ferment a great experience. And it's a very, and as we'll discuss later, it's a very idiosyncratic, nuanced thing. So we're talking about everything as big as punctuation down to like just like your obviously what your NLU your NLU models and what you're using. If you're using obviously proprietary thing like IPsoft or Samsung's Bixby, or if you're using just making a skill or an action on the big players, Amazon Alexa and Google Home or Google Assistant. So it's sort of a loaded word, but one that's now already pretty thrown around. I see we have some questions here. Cool. Okay. Great. Yeah. For the Q&A. So basically, it's this isn't a discouraging statement. This is not to discourage anyone. What it's saying is that it's a very intricate space. However, right now, the beauty is in the simplicity. We go to the famous quote, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. That's really where this like the pinnacle of this lies. Laser focusing on pain points and use cases, whether you're an independent designer focusing on something for a client, or designing for a company, or like really, it's still about focus. Focus is the name of the game. So that's just something to keep in mind. So all this stuff about like humanization, it's definitely, it's really important to consider. However, at the same time, the humanization aspect, and again, we're going to get to this later. I just want to kind of drill this point home. The humanization aspect is very it's sort of a paradox. And again, I have a quote that I charted down that we're gonna sort of delve into here. Hang on, we're gonna go here, present. So, with that in mind, true human interfacing artificial intelligence is a didactic paradox. Its successful implementation is contingent on two diametrically opposed, yet irrevocably concurrent factors: humanistic cognition coupled with inhuman efficiency. So we want the humanism really extends to the front end. It really extends to, again, very nuanced idiosyncratic aspects of, you don't want formulaic punctuation. You don't want these rigid aspects of linguistic aspects and language to really deter you and make you feel like you're speaking to this rigid, rule-based thing. You want to like feel comfortable. But beyond that, though, we don't want it to operate like a human, because humans make mistakes. Humans have varying times of execution. Humans have so there's a lot of things we're sort of going in like, okay, this is a person, but this is also a super person, because we want X, Y, and Z handled. multi-query inquiries. We want all these things. We want to reset our bank passwords, check our balance, and also make a transfer to our mom for the $50 we owe her within one shot, which is something that even in traditional customer service means, and I'm just using customer service as an example, we really expect, we were investing in this technology both from an end user point perspective and from a designer and developer perspective, and from a company perspective, from a tech perspective. We're really putting a lot of heart in this technology to exacerbate and to really quell these things that throttle the customer experience or the user experience of a service or an app. So I'm seeing some questions come in. Let's in what sector do you see the most potential? Carlo asked. The thing is what's beautiful about it is to designate a sector is how you already know somebody's bias. So what's great about, like, example Amelia, I'm just using this from my own vantage point here. Amelia is domain agnostic. So we're dealing with high tech, we're dealing with traditional customer service platforms, we're dealing with internal products, we're dealing with so many different. So to say like there's the most, every domain, every sector has the most potential. It's just about it's who brings it in and who identifies the most prominent pain points that need to be alleviated and can be appropriately alleviated from the appropriate vantage point with the appropriate experience and the appropriate perspective. So to say that there's one single sector that can be enriched by this space really does it a disservice, because the
Hey, welcome back.
Hey, watching once again. Sorry.
Yeah. So, by the way, yeah, time is already running. By the way, yeah, on it, just wrote, thanks, Eros. Greetings to New York. Yeah, I believe we should like set up another fireside chat, because you can tell that many things, and we are already running out of time, So.
Okay.
But let me see if there are some comments more on the chat as well. Quite interesting. Thanks for your presentation, Eros. Yeah, definitely. And by the way, yeah, I didn't see what you're working on before. So this is like a real life case what we are here talking now. So quite impressive.
Cool. Yes, I don't know. I'm hard patched into our server here, so I'm not even on Wi-Fi right now. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's probably maybe a lot of traffic from what's going on. There's cop cars and ambulances all over outside, so we'll see what comes up on the news.
Absolutely. No, I think, yeah, we have some 1 minute left, and I would use this to thank you, Eros, for taking the time in this situation anyway you are currently in New York. And on the other hand, yeah, very impressive where you're working, what you were doing. So thanks again for having you with us for this second session in bottish. And yeah, anyway, we are going to send replays, presentations, slides, contacts to Eros. So if you want to follow up with him, get in contact with him, please follow up later on. We will send the information next week.
Yeah, definitely. Any questions, you can email me, eros.marcello@ipsoft.com, or any of the available, LinkedIn, all the usual suspects, Instagram. Thank you for having me, sir, and thank you for bearing with me. I just moved back from the Los Angeles area, so this is on top of moving and on top of being sick and on top of whatever has gone on the past 2 days. Thank you for everyone for having me. Definitely thank you, Thomas, and hopefully we can do a fireside chat or something to elaborate some more on it.
Definitely. So thanks again. And yeah, wish you all the best and good luck, and talk to you soon again, Eros. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.